exchange of showing people the unconditional love that we have for one another.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. And let me ask you this. When you're out and about in your travels, just everyday travel, say you're going in the store or something, I know you've had to come across people that, man, you could just feel their negative energy, and they haven't said a word, but you can just feel it. Or even you've had to walk into a place, not counting the crystal stores, that you can just feel there's been some negativity in there. You know what I'm talking about there?
Oh yeah, I'm not only negativity, but sometimes good and sometimes evil. I mean, I see people that are homeless in the street. I could tell people that look like they've murdered people before, and I could tell people that are good. I mean, all types. Right outside my window, I mean, I have a great view of the back lot of Stater Brothers, and I can see some bodies laying down there, but they're not dead tonight. They're living and breathing.
Oh my! So you live in Vegas, right? Is that what you said?
No.
Oh.
No, I live in Escondido, California, San Diego.
Oh. Okay, you're in San Diego. You ever been to Whaley House?
To where? Oh, the Whaley House, you said?
Yeah, Old Town San Diego, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have. And I also been to the Winchester House, which is much more in debt.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
Man, the energy there was so wild.
I'm curious, from a psychic medium's perspective, how was the Winchester House?
Okay, I want to tell you from my own experience what I felt, and it's so involved, but I'll try to keep it concise, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Starting off, before I went to the Winchester House, I met this guy in Fallbrook that was a famous gun maker. This sounds weird, similar to the people that own the Winchester House.
Right.
And what I felt from him, he showed me pictures of some of the work his gun has done. You know, the destroying, the killing, and nothing that you would want to see. Very dark, and he was proud of it. That was evil to me, but I didn't say anything. When I left and I went to the Winchester House, and I saw the film too, but that was later on down the line. But when I went to the house, I could feel why the spirits were mad at him for trying to create that gun.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, totally. And I'm going to tell you something just from my world. You seeing that guy beforehand and before you went to the Winchester House, none of that was a coincidence. I don't even believe in coincidence. That was preordained, and I'm going to tell you something. It was all tied in. If you really think about it, you'll probably agree with me. And you know what? I know that for me, spirits know when I'm coming to certain places. They probably knew you was coming.
Yeah, I would have no doubt. A spirit, we're all spirits if we just take away our flesh. But since we can't do that, we all feel things. We know, I think in the spirit world, you're going to know what's going to happen prior a lot more than we would right here on Earth.
Yeah, I agree totally.
Because there's no sense of time in that world.
Exactly. There's no time relevance. That is a very good point. I'm glad you said that. Because that makes people understand a little better, yeah. And, I totally agree with that. Totally agree with it. So how did you... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. And no attachments except for the attachment to everyone. There's not just one attachment, but we still love the people the way we love them when we leave, but our spirits are free, and we still have the same amount of love or more love for the people that we left, but we can't do too much because we're in the other world.
Right. And, that brings me to my next point. A lot of people don't cross over because they're too attached either to a person or a place or a thing, or maybe they didn't know that they died, or there's so many different variables that go into that.
Or afraid even, don't you think?
Oh, that's a big one. They're afraid to go to hell because of their beliefs and stuff like that. Absolutely.
Afraid to move on. They're afraid to imagine being stuck in eternity where you're so froze with fear in your own body, You're not in hell. You're not in heaven, but you're in the world, this dark world, and you can't move. I mean, I believe hell is not here to scare us. It's just part of the balance of the world. We have evil and good. Either you're a good person or you're evil. It's not meant to try to threaten us. I don't come from that kind of thing. It's just meant, it's there. It's part of life. Like you walk outside your front door, you see bad things, you see good things, like that kind of thing.
Well, even if you put science into it, it's like this. Everything you can see, everything, just where you're sitting, look around. There is a plus and a minus, a negative and a positive in everything. And it has, and whenever it gets too much on one side or the other, it throws the universe out of whack. Things go crazy. So there's checks and balances. There is good and evil, negative, positive, in everything you see and everything you do. The key, I have found, is to find the positive in everything and focus on that and go from there.
Yes, unless if it's too evil, then back off and pray. Yeah.
Well, then that's the positive you found in that. To
know when to discern the spirit, right?
Yeah, that you even can discover and discern that. That's right. Exactly.
Yes, and I think you're very good with that too, in the sense of, I mean, okay, give you an example. It's so much in debt or so complicated, but to simplify it, we have different degrees in this world, in evil, different degrees in good. And I believe that sometimes a person's actions with something can be evil, but it doesn't make them bad.
Right. No, you're right. I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? They're doing the wrong thing if they kill somebody or do something, but that necessarily, there's an evil action there. But that doesn't mean that they're evil.
Right. Now, if you are a serial killer where your career is killing people, you might have crossed over a little bit more so into the negative, I would say. But yeah.
You say a little bit in the negative. Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just being silly there. But yeah, right. Oh, that's funny.
Now I threw you way off.
Yeah, you're off the reservation when you're up to 20-some or whatever serial killing. I mean, that's just I don't know if there's any return from that. You're just on the other team.
Well, you talk about from what I feel, you talk about that since you brought it up. Can I?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, like Charles Manson, I definitely feel evil in him and around him.
Well, another good sign is I have met. You know what? I haven't met anybody that's got a swastika had it in the middle of the forehead that was a good guy. That might have been.
I mean, I met a girl over here in Escondido that used to date Charles Manson. I did an interview with her.
Oh, wow.
And it was awful. I mean, not the interview, but the evil that I let in. It just, I said, this is not good to myself. And I was lucky I just got away from it.
Yeah, because, and you got to know this. When you come across people that have zero empathy, they're basically a psychopath. So if they have zero empathy, and they're very good at putting on a facade that they do have empathy, but they don't. There's some dangerous, evil people right there.
Yeah, and you don't know sometimes because they're good with masking their energy, and they're very psychic themselves, and they can play along with people.
Right, and that brings me. I've said for years, because people always say, "Well, it's genetic," psychic abilities, but I always said for years that everybody has the abilities. It's just like everybody can play basketball, but not everybody is, Michael Jordan or LeBron James. Just some people are more skilled at it or more to the surface. But I don't think anybody is you were born with it and that's that. I think we're all have the abilities. I mean, do you feel that way too?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay. I just
very much so. Yes.
Okay. So now, have you? I think it said in your bio you helped psychically. You give psychic information or help some celebrities. Is that correct?
Yes. Oh, geez. worked within my psychic medium work and my comedy. One time I was at the Stardust Hotel and Casino. Remember that hotel?
Yes, not even there no more, is it?
Exactly. They exploded it like they do everything else, and that's what I like Vegas so much.
Yeah.
It's fireworks all the time. But I was there the last night when they were putting everything in a capsule. At the time, I was working for KLAV, AM 1230, doing a comedy psychic medium radio show type thing. But they, the Stardust and the station invited me to go to their party. I met Wayne Newton, Don Rickles, Phyllis Diller again. I met, the list goes on. And one guy, let's see, what was his name? Hold on, I'm trying to think. The guy that played in Analyze That, he was the bigger guy.
De Niro?
Yeah, not De Niro, but the guy that played the bodyguard.
I can't remember his name. I can't place him.
Joe Fratelli, I think.
Joe Fratelli?
He played Jelly.
Oh, okay, I know who you mean. Yeah, Jelly.
Okay.
Yeah, he died. He passed a heart attack, but yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah, and stomach ulcers, too. He died right after I met him. I don't know if that was good or bad, but...
oh, wow.
I know. We had a chance I gave him a little bit of a reading when I was at the hotel when he was trying to pick up my girlfriend at the time. And I go, what the heck? I like this guy more than I do the girls. So
he was just being cordial. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. And we all went out. We talked. We had fun. I did some readings for him. When we had dinner that night, Wayne Newton was sitting at the same table I was, along with Don Rickles and his manager, and the other guy I told you about, Joe.
Right.
So everybody's sitting there eating dinner. Don Rickles kept insulting Wayne. He's sitting over to dinner, and he's insulting Wayne all throughout the whole dinner, and I'm wondering, I go, well, Wayne is cracking up, but isn't there boundaries here? I just wonder.
Oh, my goodness. That had to be
wild. Yeah, when I got done with eating, I asked Don if I could do a interview with him, and I had trouble with my tape recorder, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he got real mad because he was right in the middle of a joke, and I couldn't record it. So I had to start it all over. Don't ever interrupt anybody in the middle of anything. So here I am, and I'm asking him, I go, Don, where do you live? He goes, well, I live in Beverly Hills with the kids, the wife, and the dog, and I'm happy to be there. I said, have you ever thought about adopting me? And he said, no, I'm not that lonely.
Oh, my God.
There's so many stars I've met. I could go on with each one. There's a story to each one. And I'm sure you met a lot of celebrities in your life that were kind of off the wall, huh?
Yeah, I met a few of them. There's a bunch of them I've met. Yeah, I met one guy, baseball player, I won't say his name, but it was in 1995. He just went into the Hall of Fame. A month later, another celebrity I know, I was still friends with, he says, hey, there's a celebrity pro-am golf tournament. I want you to come and be my interviewer and cameraman and all that. And I said, okay, great. So I went and the guy was miserable all day long. You never dreamed that he just got in the Hall of Fame. He was so I've never seen such a miserable guy. I'd hate to see him if he didn't make it in the Hall of Fame that a month ago. He'd have been really miserable. Good Lord. Oh,
well, who are that? Okay, I met Larry Bird before and Michael. What's that famous bet?
Jordan.
Yeah, Michael Jordan. Now, at the time, I never watched sports. Okay, I didn't know anything about these guys, and they were all at La Costa Resort, and they were in a big golf tournament